Namaste, beloveds. This is Motherwood Wisdom, aka Valerie Ames. Let me do something right quick. Okay, sorry about that, beloveds. I closed the patio door because um, there was a lot of noise coming through. Um, I don't know if you could hear it or not, but um, it was interfering with some of my frequencies. So, beloveds, I just did a video. Excuse me if I'm fidgeting, but that's just me. But I did a video yesterday that is showing me how much my conscious awareness has expanded from where I began on this journey to where I am now in this present moment, and just how spiritually conscious aware I am of my spiritual presence in this moment. And it is the recognizing, the remembering, the observing, the knowing, the believing, the all that alleviates doubt, all that alleviates fear is the expansion has moved those things. It has pushed them farther away from my um, receptors is the only word I can think of. But beloveds, this the reason I'm doing this is because of a very serious download I had this morning when I woke up, and that was watching the watchers, observing those that observes, becoming the observer, no longer being the watched, but becoming the observer, identifying the self as the observer rather than the self that is being observed. That is very deep, very complex, and very simple, elementary, all at the same time. It is everything and nothing in those very few words. It is the art of war simplified, so they say. This is not going to be a very long video, beloveds. It's going to be very short. Um, One of the reasons this is rising up within me is what came into my peripheral, what came into my view, what was brought to my focus, to my attention, what was set in front of me, what I noticed, and what my spirit focused on. And that was this whole gang stalking um, phenomena. And it's yesterday I said there's nothing new under the sun, and that this gang stalking is based upon animal predatory packs, not solitary beasts that go out and hunt all by themselves, that lone wolf. No, this is the pack mind. This is the hive mind. This is the colony, the colonization kind of procession. I'll put it that way. This is broken. Wow. Okay. Mm, I knew that before, but okay. Um, hmm. This is a very deep subject, beloveds, because many of us become paranoid. And I want you to really pay attention to that word, paranoid. When you find the word para on other words, what words come to your mind with that prefix para, P-A-R-A, para? What words come to mind? What images, what thoughts, what descriptions come to your mind? Paranormal, paranoid, para, parascope. I want you to observe. I want you to watch the presence that is in these words, in the groupings of these letters. Para, to see, to think some paranoia, to think somebody is watching you and you become schizophrenic, you become paranoid, you become afraid. It stirs up fear within you of being what? Seen, known, observed, watched. Like I said, all of this is coming from the gang stalking thing that came up. That was, I focused on this particular sister because of the ISIS tattoo she had, with ISIS kneeling and the wings spread. That spoke to me to pay attention to this. That it was more than just what meets the eye. I put on Facebook what I found on Google about gang stalking, how ancient it is, what and how it was used by the government, by the CIA, by the FBI, by certain agencies and agents that cause paranoia by their watching, by their observing. But let me bring some peace, and let me bring some pause, and let me bring some pleasure into this picture. Okay? And beloveds, this is coming from a deep, deep well. Okay? This is coming deep, baby. If you have nothing to fear, why do you fear being observed? Why do you fear another seeing you? Why do you fear another hearing what you're saying? Why do you fear another doing what you're doing with your hands, with your heart? We were told long ago about watchers, watchers in the sky. We are given babysitters to watch us. If you have more, if you're the oldest sibling, you are told to do what to your younger siblings? Watch them. Watch over them. I want you to think of, when is there a time in your existence that you have not been watched? Not conscious of being watched, unconscious of being watched, subconscious. You don't see nobody, but you instinct and intuition is telling you're being watched. We have technology that has resurfaced, phones that listen to conversations, digital pictures that watch, plasma screens that watch, computers that watch with cameras. Walking down any street, we have Ring doorbells that watch. Everything watches. Yet we are so afraid of being what? Watched, being seen. And yet we cannot get away from it. So, what the ancestors and what the spirit guides are saying, beloveds, is that it is time to become the watcher. It is time to become the observer. It is time to watch those that are watching. It is time to pay attention to those who are so covertly, so to speak, watching you, gang stalking you. Your every move, your every sentence, your every wiping your ass, your every shower, your every wig change, your every words that you type on the computer, whether it's public or in your own Google Notes or whatever. Oh, you're being watched. Mm-hmm. But it's time not to get freaked out by that. Move past that. Understand there's a reason why you are being watched. That reason is that you are a sovereign being capable of creating and manifesting unlimited, supernatural, paranormal activities. Okay? Another thing is this. For a while, Mother with Wisdom, Valerie Ames, Peaches, Jezebel Kisses, what other name? Tehume Sophia, Pierced Shield. Um, there's so many names that I used to go by. Okay? On Facebook as my alter ego, as my avatar, as my computer identity. Each one had her own personality and her own je ne sais quoi. In all of those avatars and ways, I expressed being a firstborn daughter. Didn't really know what that meant. I just knew that's what Spirit said. Sitting with it now, and hearing other. I was shown a big huge pot, and some can call it a shit pot. Some can call it a pot where a laundry pot where the washerwomen would put their clothes in, and those clothes with the worst stains or whatever, they would put stuff in there that would, and if the water would come to a boil, and whatever stain was in the cloth would bubble up. Alchemically, the heat would separate it from the cloth. It would come up. The dirt would come off. The stain would remove itself. And the sediment would be in the water. And it would settle back down, and the scum of it from the soap and everything would rise to the top. The rinse water. Cooks know that when you're cooking pasta, there's a starch that comes off of that pasta that you marry with whatever dish you're going to blend, mix together. This is alchemical. This is firstborn, so to speak. This is not settling for less. This is using the cream and not the milk. This is using real butter instead of the margarine. Okay? This is the way they're saying for me to speak this right now. But getting back to the firstborn daughter, many had issue with that. And that put me on a list to be watched. Why? Because it stirred some things in beings. What does she mean? It stirred things in me. And I've always only accepted it, but now, firstborn in what? In what age? In what cycle? In what gender? In what knowledge? In what form? Firstborn in what? I've always just accepted firstborn. But now with this watcher thing, firstborn in what? What was there to see that I was firstborn? What? What? Where is all of this coming from? This is firstborn wisdom. This is firstborn knowledge and discernment of existence existing from the firstborn perspective. Not from generations and this is trickling down. This is reawakening. It is regenerating. It is remembering within me. This firstborn and I are very symbiotic, and we are becoming one, and we are watching each other, and we are holding each other's hands. And I am not the only one, beloveds. And that's what this video is about. That's what the previous videos have been about. That is why this gang stalking thing is coming up in this present moment. Not a year ago, not 5 years ago, when I was going cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo from it. No, but now, when I can say hello from the other side of it. Spirit is very precise with this message. Very precise. Observe the watchers. Become the observer. Become the watcher that watches the watcher. Those that watch, who's watching them? There is a saying that my mother passed down to me from her mother. What's done in the dark is going to come to the light. So those who think and believe that they are so covertly watching, or that they are agents or double agents or triple agents or blah, 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 of the matrix or the galaxies or whatever the hell you want to call these words, and group them together to arrange your semblance of knowledge and conscious, spiritual conscious awareness. Spirit is communicating back to you. Spirit is ascending and rising, being reborn and regenerated once again. Beyond what is seen. So if you're so busy, like I said, you can only see and watch those firstborns or those other ones that you feel are gifted and have their clair and their paras and all of this kind of gifts and abilities. And you're so busy watching them wipe their ass and wipe their nose and bend over and who they're doing this and that with. You're still not watching and observing spirit. And that's what you should be seeing. That's what you should be trying to measure. That's what you should be trying to encounter. That is what you should be trying to duplicate. Not a style or a fashion or a persona or a picture or an image or a message or a poem or a song or an artistic expression. Baby, please. There's nothing new under the sun. So you regurgitating and saying, this is mine. Look what I did. That's narcissistic validation for your identity. That's saying, watch me. Watch me. Hey, watch me. I'm the one you should be watch me. Be careful what you ask for. Subconsciously and unconsciously, when you seek validation, the universe will give it to you in the ways of existence, positive and negative, for you to gain the lessons and the means that are necessary for you to know yourself. To know that if you still want to be in that spotlight, in that limelight, that you want the role of the one being watched, or if you prefer to rest in the highest spiritual conscious awareness and be the observer of the self, existing in form and formlessness through the senses, and be in direct connection with all that is, was, and will be. There is no distinction, only perception. I have some tools to aid me with this. Very specific. Told not to read the book, told which cards to get from looking through the deck, So this is not random, beloveds. This is very direct. This is very specific. The messages that are going to come are very direct and very specific. This is not coming from Carol Bridges. This is coming from Spirit. This is coming from my spirit guides. This is coming from my higher self. This is coming from those who observe me and say, Valerie, receive, transmit, transform, and transmute these words into sounds, into language, into meaning, into communication, into knowing, into beliefs, into understanding through unconditional love. Bam. First card told to use is number 9. She is the guide. She is the hermit in the regular tarot deck. And I want you to see the invisible mountains behind the sun from which she came, and the 2 clouds on her right and left. I want you to look at the colors, the watercolors, the colors of the desert sands and the sunsets. And I want you to see her hands, her face. She is the observer. The hermit is the firstborn observer. The hermit is the one that leaves the collective to observe. The second card is the star card in the original tarot deck. It is number 17, which also adds up to an 8. And in this deck, it is the grandfathers. Now, the grandfathers are very special to me because that is the masculine energy. That is the protector energy. That is the foundation energy from what is built. Building takes place from this energy. Architecture, structure takes place from this energy. This is the grandfathers. The grandfathers are at peace with the grandmothers. The grandmothers are the creators. The grandfathers are the builders. The grandmothers see, they visualize, they bring into being, they manifest, they receive the grandfather's logic, and they build and give birth to empires, society, communities, children, individuals, principles and principalities and powers. These are the builders. The grandfathers are the builders of this. The grandmothers are the ones that create it. The grandfathers are the builders. There's a big difference. The grandfathers lead and direct. You see that one star above the trees there? And you see the water shining down upon the waters? And the split, that is the grandmothers, that is the grandfathers, leading the way back to the grandmothers, up to the stars. Again, beloveds, this is not coming from the medicine woman deck. This is coming from spirit. Look at the colors, beloveds. The grandfathers want you to know that leaders are only leaders because of they are skilled at observing. They are skilled at listening. They are masters of listening. They are masters at observing the greatest, most minutest of detail. They take it in a glance, in a blink of an eye. And with discernment, they process it. And with instinct and intuition, they guide. And we call them leaders. The grandfathers, the elders, we call them leaders because they are able to see and guide. The next card in the regular tarot deck is the High Priestess. It's number 2. In this deck, she is the seeker. The High Priestess, I want you to see the mirror. She's not looking in the mirror, she's looking away from it. The mirror is reflecting a side of her. If you see the moon, it is not a full moon. If you see the waters where she is perched, and she's looking over her shoulder. Remember, we spoke about paranoia, beloveds. I want you to understand why these cards came forth. Seeker. Seek her. Seek her. Seek that high priestess within yourself. That is that firstborn feminine energy. Woo! That's that fire. That's that kundalini. That's that sensuality. That's the fire and water of alchemy combined. That is the natural reflection, they say. Look at the card, look at the roots of the trees and the water upon the grass and that little, what you call it, a creek or river or a brook or whatever you want to call it. But it looks like the water is coming from the moon, okay? There's a lot here. If you look at the trees, they look like they're over her, not just around her. That's wisdom. That's discernment. Observe. 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 Her legs are spread. Her hand is between her legs. Observe. Observe. Seek her. And don't be afraid of others seeing her, watching her, looking at her, copying her, trying to relate to her, those that will hate her, okay? And those that will love her. They don't matter. You identify and observe her. She is yours. She is your image. This is the one that you have to claim. This is the one that you have to know. This is the High Priestess. She's the one that speaks and whispers through discernment. She's the one that sees what you don't in the spirit worlds and relays it back to you. From multi-dimensions, from galactic portals, whatever you want to, wherever your power and principalities and philosophies come from. There's no judgment. That is only from your mind. Number 11, justice. And in this card, in this deck, it is balance. Look at the mamas and the grandfathers holding up this other world. And you see what is that in the that's a deer in the pasture, and you see a Native American throwing seeds where the tent is, and you look and that purple mountains and a moon in the sky, and oh, I just love this card. Let me show it to you. Balance. That ancient masculine and feminine, that grandmother and that grandfather are balancing this world. They're holding it above them. That Native American, that Indian, that native to the land, that caretaker, that gardener is throwing seeds. I hope you can see that. I hope you see the moon, the purple of the mountains, the river that leads up, the deer in the meadow, and they're holding it all up. And if you want to call that Middle Earth from which they are holding it up, this earth, other earth up, call it what you will. The card is number 11, which is a portal, which is an opening, which is balance, which is justice. This would be Libra. I don't know why they wanted me to say that, but okay. Number 12, the Hanged Man. And this card, it's called Vision. Look at the being. Now look at her reflection. She has a crown of stars. 2, 4, 6, 7, and 1 in the middle of her forehead makes it 8. Total of 8 stars there. See the difference between the observer and the observed, the watcher and that which is watching. Reflection. This is Saturn in retrograde. This is a ringed reflection. It is a circled circle. It is a cycle that has taken eons to cycle back around to. But we are at that point now. And the rebirth is taking place. And in that scripture that just came, the dry bones dancing, she sees the dry bones dancing. Vision, sees, watches, observes. 12, 3. 1 plus 2 is 3. 0, 1 plus 2 is 3. The womb is 0. Firstborn, secondborn, produce the third, which is both of them. It is the 1 and it is the 2. Watch. Watch spirit multiply and be fruitful. Watch the spirit. You can't watch it with your eyes, baby. You see the manifestations. But do you see the times? Do you see the guides? There was something that came through. This comes with the pierced shield. Pierced shield is the Tower card. It is number 16, which is a 7. This is very prophetic card for me. As you heard in the earlier part of this video, pierced shield was one of my names, one of my altar names. This deck was the very first deck I received. This card was the card I came to know myself by. I'm not reading it from there, but I will show you. The fire, the turtle, the lotus, the eagle, and the phoenix, and the arrow pierced. And that arrow is also lightning. And there are 3 wings. 3 feathers, I'm sorry. 3 wings. This is a very powerful card. It shows, it tells that there are aspects of you that will be touched physically, that have to be pierced in order to release the others elements of yourself, the higher aspects of yourself. You have to be pierced. Something has to penetrate you. Something has to cause you pain and suffering for you to release. Just like endorphins. Just like your hormonal body releases hormones. Just like you have to be in a fear state or an anxious state in order to get that adrenaline rush. You have to be pierced. Very powerful. Okay, Mama. The shield was made. This is a shield. This is a sword. What you put up. This is designed to be penetrated so that you are not penetrated. Mama says. She says, look at that turtle's face. That turtle ain't worried. I hope you can see it. Look at the eagle. The eagle knows that it is the phoenix. And it is the fires that purify and bring all together as one. This, when I say shields up, this is the shield I'm talking about. This is the shield I'm talking about. Go online, beloveds. Google this card. Carol Bridges, Medicine Woman deck, pierced shield. On my multiply.com social media before Facebook, I was pierced shield. And I would write and I would speak from that aspect of my healing journey. And here we are. In this moment, I am observing a new expanded conscious awareness of pierced shield. Last card is number 5. It is the hierophant. And on this card, In this deck, it is known as the Peacemaker. Again, this is the Hierophant. And I want you to look, that is a two-spirit being. And the colors of Mary, that blue and the purples. And I want you to, I see many what I call V's, or this, vagina, viscous, piscus, whatever you want to call it, this. There are so many of them in this card. So that is the divine feminine speaking. She is the peacemaker. She brings peace. She creates peace. Peace is a great part. Peace is her presence. Peace is her presence. It is not a part. A part, a part. Peace is her presence. Oh. The Hierophant. The Hierophant in the regular tarot deck is also called the Pope. How many popes have been true peacemakers? Representative of the mother. Observe. Watch the watchers. Watch the watchers, baby. Watch the watchers. You will know the peacemakers by the unconditional love that they have amongst themselves, that circulates, that radiates, that emanates from their presence. They don't have to open their mouth. They don't have to say one single solitary thing. They don't have to be draped in brilliant robes of all fancy material and colors. They don't have to be draped in jewels. They don't have to be robed scholars. Like I said, they don't have to open their mouth. They don't even have to be in the same room with you. Some of them radiate at such a frequency, baby. You can feel them from miles and miles and worlds away from you. Just like you feel the heat of the sun. Okay? It's time to turn that mirror back and let it reflect. And let the watchers see themselves. They are so, let them see their own identity within themselves. They are so busy looking for identities, the psychology behind it, the spirituality behind it, the modalities behind it, on how to make money, how to use it, how to exploit it. They are so invested in what everybody else looks like and what the look should be that sells, that they have forgotten their own reflections, their spiritual, conscious reflections. And it is up to us to reflect that light. 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 To give because they are need to receive it. That's why they're watching. Because they're thirsty, they're hungry, they're starving. They have no identity. Spiritual identity. Manifested, material, earthly, mineral. Yeah, they got all of that. They want more of that. That's what they think but that higher octane that cannot be seen, cannot be witnessed, what we go around and what you make and you add this and that too, but what you already are, that's and when you realize that about yourself, you get comfortable. Let them look. Let them see. Let them see the God in you, baby. Let them see. Come on. Come on. Come on, Cletus. Come on. What you need to see, baby? I got you. You need to watch. You want to take notes? You want to take my notes? You want to take my notes and then say that I'm crazy? Ain't nothing new under the sun, baby. Go read your Bible. Go see what happened to a king named Nebuchadnezzar who thought he knew everything and had seen everything and watched everything. Okay? Was out there eating grass, baby, on hands and knees like a beast of the field. Who put him out there? Spirit. Watch this. We're going to record this so you can see it, so you can know, so the children can know. When you go watch movies and you call yourself entertained, you need to be getting educated on what you're seeing, why you're seeing it, what agenda is out there for you to see it, what is the spiritual message, metaphysical message, biological message, generational message. What is it? And what can you rest in it? What kind of peace can you bring to it to increase it or decrease it? Okay, beloveds, that is going to do it. I said this wasn't going to be a very long video. Um, it went a little bit longer than what I had intended. But, like I said, when you are spirit led, you allow, you allow, you allow, you allow, you allow the unknown. You allow the unseen. You allow, beloveds, you allow that which is bigger than you, that which is higher than you, that which is older than you, that which is wiser than you, that which is stronger than you, to lead like the elders and the grandfathers, and you follow that lead, baby. Yes, you do. Instinctively and intuitively, not just logically because you follow them. Look, they going this way. You go. No, instinctively and intuitively. You know who. Open your hearts, beloveds. your spiritual hearts, and look deep within yourself. Look at your circulation. Look at your circulatory. Look at what you're breathing in. Look at what you're consuming. Look at what is consuming you. Look at what they're doing with what they consume from you. And look at what spirit is working through them, because all is connected. Whether you see it positive, negative, up, down, sideways, flat, or round, it's all connected. And spirit speaks more than one language and sees from more than one angle, dimension, time, cycle, and season. All is one. Wrap your head around that. Watch from that aspect, and you will know. You will know a much deeper peace. And that will expand and grow, and your fears will be pushed away. They will become like dog whistles. You can't hear it. Okay, beloveds, that's it. That's it.